This conference will now be recorded.
So in today's session, we are going to discuss about Apex sharing, and we'll see what exactly the Apex sharing.
Firoz, voice is not audible. Can you talk a bit loud?
Okay.
Actually, for me, you are perfectly audible, Firoz.
Okay. So we'll see what exactly the Apex sharing and what is the use and how to share the record to the users dynamically at runtime through programming. We'll see practically in this case. So as part of our configuration, that already we have discussed about the concept of sharing. Whenever we are making the objects OWD as private, whenever we are making the objects OWD as private, then at that time, if any of the user is creating the record will be getting visible to the owner of the record and his manager. Only the owner of the record and his manager will be able to access the record, but the other people, that means other users inside the organization, will not be able to access the record. The siblings or the subordinate people inside the organization will not be able to access the record. Only the owner of the record and his manager will be able to access the record, but the other people will not be able to access. Now, in this case, if you want to make this record to be get visible, okay, if you want to make this record to be get visible to the other people, then we are going to be using the concept of sharing. If the record is visible to everyone, then no need of sharing concept, because the record is a public, everybody is able to access. But sometimes the record is not visible. That means whenever we are making the objects OWD as private, then only the owner of the record and his manager can able to see the record. But other people will not be able to access that record. So in this case, if you want to make that record to be get visible to the other people, then we are going to be using the concept of sharing. Then how can we share the record to the users? Okay, now let's see practically in this case. So now let's see in this case. Whenever if you want to make the record to be get visible to the other people, then we are using the concept of sharing. When you go to the sharing concept, that already we have Salesforce is providing 3 types of sharing mechanisms. Okay, we have 3 types of sharing mechanisms. First one is manual sharing. Second one, automated sharing. Third one, Apex sharing. Whenever you are sharing the record to the required people, depends upon your application requirement, depends upon your business need. So we have three types of sharing mechanisms available in Salesforce. The first one is a manual sharing, second one automated sharing, third one Apex sharing. These are the three types of sharing mechanisms available in Salesforce. Then, how to share the record manually? Whenever if you want to share the record manually, we are using the sharing button. We are using the help of sharing button. Through this sharing button, we can share the record to one or more number of users with the required level of access. So whenever we are using this manual sharing is used to share the record manually one by one. Okay, by using this sharing button. So with the help of this sharing button, we can share the record to one or more number of users. We can share the record to one or more number of users manually with the help of this sharing button. So upon sharing the record, we can specify what level of access you would like to grant on this record to these users. Whenever you are sharing the record to the people, we can specify what level of access you would like to grant on this record to this user. We can able to specify that. That facility is available. We can able to grant either read-only access or read-write access also. Read-only access and read-write access also. Now, so that manual sharing can be done with the help of sharing button. Through sharing button, we can share the record to one or more number of users, okay, with the required level of access that may be either read-only or read-write. If I'm granting read-only access, then it will be granting only the view permission to those users. They can't modify, they can't delete, they can't share my record to other people. If I'm granting read-write permission is going to be granting the view permission and edit permission. Those people can able to see my record, those people can modify my record also, but they can't share my record to the other people, they can't delete my record from my organization or from my app. Now, so now here in this case, whenever we are going to sharing the record manually, we are using the help of sharing button. Suppose, for example, assume that I'm having 5 records. So each and every record we can open manually, we can share the record. Each and every record we can open manually, we can share. But in this case, if I'm sharing the record manually, then if the number of records are more, then what we can do? I'm having 1,000 records are available to share. If I'm sharing one by one like that, then in this case, it will take more time. Because if I'm having some 10 records, then fine. I can spend some 10 minutes of time and I can share each and every record one by one manually to the people. Suppose if the number of records are more, at that time, it will be causing some issue. It will be killing your time. It will be a time-consuming process to share each and every record manually, one by one. So, to avoid this kind of problems, we are going to be using an automated process that is called as sharing rules. With the help of this sharing rules, we can share the record to one or more users, okay, automatically. Automatically, we can share the records to one or more users, okay, based on the certain conditions. Depends upon some certain conditions, we can share the records to one or more number of users also. That facility is available. Depends upon your application requirement, we can cross-check some conditions. Based on those conditions, we can share the records to one or more number of users. That facility is available to you with the help of these sharing rules, which can be done with the help of sharing rules, where sharing rules are always firing after inserting the record and after updating the records. Because if you want to share the record, then first of all, record should be there. So record should be created first. Once the record is created, then only we can share the record with the required people. So in this case, we have to find these sharing rules. Sharing rules are always firing after insert and after update. Once the record has been getting created, then immediately sharing will be fired. Once the record has been updated, then immediately sharing will be getting fired. So that sharing rules will fire automatically after insertion and after updation of the records inside that object, and then it will verify the certain conditions whatever we have specified inside the sharing rules, and then upon once the conditions have been met by the record, then they are going to be sharing the record to the respective people. So instead of sharing the record manually by our own, we can able to go with the sharing rules also, which will be firing automatically. But there is a problem in the sharing. What is the problem in the sharing rule? Oh, let me explain. For example, whenever we are creating a sharing rule, go to the security controls, sharing settings. Go to the sharing rules. For example, I'm creating a sharing rule here. Upon creating the sharing rule, we have to specify some details. These are some basic details: rule name and the rule label, rule description. This is the plan. And then specify the conditions. What conditions needs to be get verified upon sharing the record? Before sharing the record, what conditions you want me to verify? So we can able to specify the conditions. And then if the record is meeting with this condition, then to whom you want to share the record? To whom you want to share the record, we have to specify. Here we have to specify this one. If the conditions are met, to whom you want to share this record, then what we can do? In this case, we have to specify that the public group to whom you want to share this record. That means what? We have to specify the conditions here itself. We have to specify to whom you want to share the record. To whom you want to share the record. Now, in this case, what happened? Let me explain. For example, there is a requirement. I'm having this account object. I'm having this account. Now, inside my account object, we are creating so many records. We are creating so many records. So now, whenever we are going to be creating the records, it depends upon the industry of the record. I want to share the record to the respective people. Depends upon the industry name, I want to share the record to the respective people. That means here, account means customers. So now inside my organization, we are having so many employees are working who are going to be dealing with the respective customers regarding the new products also, regarding the new benefits also, that we keep on in touch with those people. So in this case, now whenever we are creating this account record, whenever I'm creating this account record, if the account records industry value is equals to banking, if the account records industry equals to banking, industry equals to banking, then in this case, I want to share the record. Okay, I want to share the record to the Hyderabad sales. Hyderabad sales. Now, suppose if the industry is equals to some finance, industry equals to some finance, then finance industry records are dealing by the Bangalore salespeople. Bangalore salespeople. If the industry is equals to insurance, I want to share the record to the Mumbai salespeople. Mumbai salespeople. If the industry is equals to manufacturing, if the industry is equals to manufacturing, I want to share it to Chennai sales group. And if the industry is equals to technology, I want to share it to Pune sales group. So now observe this one here. Observe the scenario in this case. So now whenever we are going to be creating the records, so whenever I'm creating the record, depends upon this industry value. If the account records industry value is equals to banking, then I want to share the record to that Hyderabad sales. Now tell me how can we achieve this? By using sharing rule, how can we achieve? For that one, what we need to do, here we have to add the condition where if the industry equals to banking, if the account record industry is equals to banking, then to whom you want to share? I want to share to the Hyderabad sales group, so that you can select that Hyderabad sales group. Specify that level of access over here and then click on save. So one sharing rule we have to create, a separate sharing rule we have to create. We have to create a separate share. Now, second, if the account records industry equals to finance, then I want to share this account record to the Bangalore sales group. For that one, what we need to do, one more sharing rule we have to do with the required condition. Second sharing. And then, if the industry is equals to insurance, then I want to share the record to the Mumbai sales group. So for that one more sharing, the third. If the industry is equals to manufacturing, I want to share this record to the Chennai sales group. For that one, another sharing group. That means the fourth one. If the industry is equals to technology, then I want to share this record to the Pune sales group. For that one, we have to write one more sharing group. So the fifth one. That means what? The number of sharing rules are keep on increasing. The number of sharing rules are keep on increasing over here. And that too, here we have to hardcode the conditions also. We have to specify to whom you want to share this record. Okay, to whom you want to share this record. To whom you want to share this record. So now here in this case, instead of having these many number of sharing rules, okay, instead of having these many number of sharing rules, then I would like to collect this entire business logic. I would like to collect this entire business logic. So whatever the business logic is required, I'm collecting this entire business logic. The whole business logic I would like to collect over here. And then I would like to write this business logic inside a method. I would like to write this business logic inside a method. And then this method I would like to invoke just with the help of a trigger itself. I would like to use a trigger. I would like to use it. I would like to create a trigger on my account object. On my account object, I would like to create. I would like to create a trigger on my account object over here. Now this trigger will be getting fired. So now once a record has been inserted or once a record has been updated, my trigger will fire. It is going to be executing the business logic over here, and then based on that condition, it will be sharing the record to that particular users, okay, automatically in one shot. So instead of writing this so many number of sharing rules, we can able to go with a single trigger also. Okay, with a single trigger also, we can able to implement the functionality, that facilities. Now, so now here we are going to be creating one trigger. We are invoking this trigger, and then this trigger will be executing this business logic. So it will be sharing the record to the respective people. And here, if it is a conditions, if it is a programming, we can decide. Okay, we can decide, depends upon our application requirement, how can we share this record, to whom you want to share the record, what level of access we can able to grant. Why? Because here we are having that. Whenever we are going to be sharing this record here, through by using sharing rules, here we have to hard code which kind of access level you would like to grant, either read only or read write. We have to hard code this one. But my requirement is what? Whenever I'm going to be creating a record, if the account records industry equals to banking, at that time, if the annual revenue of the record is more than 50 lakhs, I want to grant read-only permission. If the account records industry value equals to banking, then at that time, if the annual revenue value, okay, if the annual revenue value is less than some 50 lakhs, then I would like to grant only the read-only permission. If the value is greater than or equals to 50 lakhs, then I would like to grant the read-write permission. That means I want to decide what level of access you would like to grant dynamically. I don't want to hard code. Depends upon the annual revenue, we need to grant the required level of permission. So upon sharing this record, if the record's annual revenue value less than 50 lakhs, then I would like to grant read-only permission. If the annual revenue value is greater than 50 lakhs, I would like to grant read-write permission. That means I want to decide what level of access you want to grant on the record dynamically at a time. It depends upon that annual revenue value. So these kind of facilities are not available as part of your sharing rules. In the sharing rules, we have to specify the condition. If the conditions are met, then specify the users to whom you want to share. And that to what level of access you want to grant, we have to select that. You can't make it dynamic. You can't select these people dynamic. This is hard coded. So for that one, to avoid this kind of problems, we are going to be using the feature called as Apex Share. Through this Apex sharing mechanism, we can able to share the record through programmatically at runtime. Depends upon your requirement, we can share the record to whomever you want. To the required people, we can share. So not to whom you want to share the record, we can decide dynamically at runtime. What level of access you want to grant, we can decide dynamically at runtime. That facility is available as part of Apex sharing. For that reason here, instead of going with the sharing rules, we are going to be using that Apex sharing mechanism. Through Apex sharing, we can share the record to one or more number of users dynamically at runtime through programming. And then at that time, depends upon the conditions, we can able to grant the level of access also. And depends upon the condition, we can share the record to the required people. To whom you want to share the record and what level of access you want to grant, that you can decide dynamically at runtime. That facility is available, depends upon your application requirement. So for that reason here, whenever we are going to sharing the record, if the specified conditions inside this particular sharing rules are not sufficient, those are not suitable for your application requirement, then we can go with that Apex sharing. Through Apex sharing, we can able to share the record to one or more number of users as well. The facility is available. Now, in this case, how can we do this Apex sharing mechanism? Now, let's see practically. Now, let me explain this concept. For example, let me go with that manual process. For example, assume that I'm having an account. I'm creating a new account record. I'm creating a new account inside my object. So now my account record name is some Praveen Kumar. This is account record. Account size some manufacturing. Type some customer direct. Industry some chemicals. Account number some value. PAN number I'm indicating some value. Rating value some warm. Phone number I'm indicating some value. Tax number. And the ownership I'm indicating like as some private. Annual revenue of 45 lakhs. Account source some web. And then customer priority some high. Active status is. I'm saving this record. So now tell me, currently, who are all the people can able to see my records? Currently, who are all the people can see my record? I want to know. How can we do that? For that one, simply we can go to that sharing button. Once you click on sharing button, it is indicating that who are all the people are able to access the record right now. So now currently it is indicating that currently only this particular user, nothing but training batch user is having the access on the record because he is the owner of the record and he is having the full control on this record. He is having the full control on the record because he is the owner. Now I want to share this record to the development user also. How can we share? How can we share? So now this record I want to share to the development user also. So now let me verify the development user. Here we are having the users are available. Inside my organization, I'm having some users. I'm having the development user, customer user, manager user, testing user also. Let me make these two users also activated. Now the testing user also. So now users are in active status right now. So now here in this case, I want to share this record to the development user. Okay, development user. Currently, development user is not able to access my record. Okay, the currently development user is not able to access my record. Now I want to make it visible. If you want to cross-check that, then you can cross-check. So click on login into the development user account. Go to the accounts. Let's see. Praveen Kumar record has been visible. Do we have that record? Praveen Kumar record is visible? No. Praveen Kumar record is not visible. Now I want to share this record to this development user. Let's see how it is shared. So now go to this record, whatever the record we have created, Praveen Kumar record. This is the record which we have created right now. I want to share this record to the development user also. Click on sharing button. Click on add button to select the user to whom you want to share. I want to share the record to a user. Who is that user? Development user. Development user also I would like to share this record. Now, with what level of access? Read-only access. Now click on save. So now I have shared the record to the development user also. From now onwards, development user also will be able to see my record. Okay. Let me log into the development user. Let's verify whether this user is able to access your record or not. Now get all the records. Now Praveen Kumar record is visible right now. Okay, Praveen Kumar record is also visible right now. So not just he can able to view the record because we have granted only the read-only permission. So just he can able to see, but he can't modify, he can't delete this record. So we have shared this record right now. So now here in this case. So now in this case, how Salesforce will remember this information? Whenever if you want to see, okay, the record will be accessible by whom, just we are going to the record and then we have to click on that sharing button. Once you click on sharing button, we can see who are all the people can able to see this, who are all the people can access this record. Then it is going to be listing out these people's information. Then where this information will be getting stored? Where this information will be getting stored? How Salesforce will remember that? So on this record, these are all the people are having access. How Salesforce will remember? Definitely this information will be storing somewhere, right? This is the sharing related information, nothing but who are all the people are able to access this record Praveen Kumar, that will be indicating by Salesforce in this table. So definitely this information is going to storing somewhere, right? Yes. Where? In which object Salesforce will store this information? Now in this case, this information is what? This is related to the sharing information. Suppose when you go to your users, all this users information is storing in the user object. Suppose once you click on this contacts, it is listing out all the contact records where it is storing in the contact table. Like the similar way, when you click on the sharing button, it is storing that it is listing out some information here in the form of table or format. That means it is also storing this information somewhere, right? Yes. Where this sharing information will be getting stored? Where this is storing sharing information? This is sharing information will be storing inside the share objects. All the sharing related information will be storing inside an object called as share objects. Salesforce is maintaining the share objects. Okay. All the sharing related information will be storing inside the share objects. Now, all the sharing information will get resides inside the share objects. Inside the share objects. For each and every object, it may be standard, it may be custom. For each and every object, Salesforce is providing a share object by default. For each object, Salesforce will provide a share object by default as default. So how will be the share object look like? What are the fields are available? My object name and the share object. Now, for example, I'm having this account object. For this account object, we will be having the share object as account to share. That means in this account object, whatever the records are available, which are shared to the people, that all the sharing information will be storing inside this account to share object. That means all the account records of sharing information will be getting resides inside that account to share object. Like the similar, inside my contact object, whatever the contact records are available, those contact records related sharing information will be storing inside that contact to share object. And then I'm having that lead object. Lead records sharing information will be storing inside that lead share object. I'm having the case object. Case records sharing information will be storing inside the case share object.
Firoz, is these objects are visible?
Yes. I will show you that. Give me some time.
Okay.
So now, so in this case, this campaign related sharing records information will be storing inside the campaign share object. So like the similar, I'm having my custom object here, like has some position. The position object related records sharing information will be storing inside the position underscore share object. I'm having some hiring manager. Hiring manager records sharing information will be storing inside the hiring manager underscore share object. I'm having the customer underscore C. The customer records sharing information will be getting resides inside the customer underscore share object. Like that here, for each and every standard, for each and every custom object, Salesforce is maintaining the share object by default. Inside that share object, the actual sharing information will be getting resides. Inside that share object, the actual sharing information will be getting resides. So this is the internal concept. Whenever you are sharing the record manually, then automatically Salesforce is going to storing the sharing related information inside my share object. Then how can we see this sharing for share objects information? If you want to see this share objects information, we can see from the developer console, we can able to see that share objects information. Also, I will show you practically today. Now, so in this case here, suppose if you want to share this, if you want to check this objects information, just you can go to the developer console. In this developer console, we can able to see this information also. Let's go to the file menu, click on open, select that option called as objects. Okay, select the option called as objects. Now, we can go to that account object related sharing. So now we are having an object called as account to share. There is an object called as account to share object is available, which will be storing the sharing information of this account records. Whatever the account records are available, that account records sharing information will be available inside this account to share object. Like the similar way for each and every object, will be having the share objects internally by default. Then what this account to share object contains information. So whatever the sharing information is available, so whatever the data, see. So whatever the upon click on the sharing button, whatever the details you are collecting inside this table, this entire data will be storing inside the account share object information. All this information, what are the details you are able to see right now inside this particular tabular format. So now this entire details will be storing inside that account share table. So these details are placing inside the account share table. Then in this account share object, what are all the fields are available? What are the columns are available inside this account share object? In this account share object, what are all the fields are available for them? Now let me explain. Account share object. Inside my account share object, what it contains, account share object will be holding all the account records as sharing information. That means which records will be visible to whom, which record will be visible to whom, everything we can able to track. So in that account object, whatever the records are available, that each and every account records sharing information will be storing inside my account share object. All the records sharing information will be storing inside this account share object. So in this case, inside this account share object, what are all the various of fields are available? What are all the various of fields are available inside this? Now I would like to show you here. Let me explain. So now this account share object. This object contains all the account records sharing details. Okay. This object contains all the account records sharing details. That means which record is visible to whom. It will be storing this information inside this account share object. Now, so now here in this case, in this account share object, how it is storing this information? When you go to the sharing details, it will be indicating what is the record here. This is the record ID. Okay, this is the record ID. This is the ID of that account record. So now to store this one, it will be holding a field. Okay, it will be holding some fields over here. To store this information, the first field is account ID, nothing but ID of the account record. It contains the ID of the account record. Account record ID. Now this field will be holding the ID of the account record which has been shared. It contains the account record ID which has been shared or created. So that means which record is available inside my account object, every record, because by default, if I'm creating a record, I haven't shared it to anyone, then who is the owner here? My details also there inside this account share object. Now, every account record details will be available inside this account share object. Not the actual details, record ID, then who is the owner, who is able to access this record, that information. Not the account rating, industry, nothing, only ID. ID and the owner who is able to access that record, what level of access he is having, why he is accessing. Now, in this case, the first field is it is holding that field called as account ID field. Now, the second one is user or group ID. Okay. User or group ID is the second. What it contains, now which user is having the access of that to hold this information. You are sharing the record to the user or you are sharing the record to a public group, because you know that upon sharing the record, we can share the record to a single user also, or we can share the record to the multiple users also by creating a public group. So to whom we have shared this record, that means which user is having the access, which public group is having the access to store that, the user ID at that public group ID, it is having a field called as user or group ID. It is the column. It is the field. So it will be holding the ID of the user or ID of the group, public group, to whom this record has been shared. It contains the user ID or public group ID to whom the record has been shared. Then how do we know if it is a user ID? It will be holding the value. It is starting with what? Starting with the 005. 005. If it is a public group, then it is starting with the 00G. You know this here. These are the IDs. Now, it will be holding this information. Next, the third one. The third field is it will be holding that. So now it is indicating what is the record you have shared, to whom you have shared. So now what account record access you have granted. Okay, what account record access you have granted. So for that one, it is having a field called as account access level. Account access level. Account access level. That means what is the level of access that you have granted on this account record to this particular user. I have shared this account record, okay, to this particular user, then what level of access you have granted. So to store this level of access, it is going to be indicating this account access level. It contains the level of access has been granted to the user on the record. Then what kind of level of access we can grant? We can grant read only. We can grant read. If it is a read only, it will be holding the value as read. If you are granting read write, this field will be holding the value called as edit. That means edit means what? Read write permission you have granted. If you are selecting this now, if you are granting the read only permission, this field will be holding the value read. Okay, read or edit. Read means read only. Edit means read write. Okay, this is the permission. Next foot. So now what level of access you have granted on this opportunity record. So that you will be having the field called as opportunity access level. Opportunity access level. So what do you mean by this opportunity access level? What this field contains? Now let's see practically. Now, so now in this case, so now this field will be holding what level of access that you are granted on that related opportunity record. So now, when coming to this particular record, this record may be having some related opportunities are also available. So now on that opportunity records, what level of access you would like to grant? I want to know that here. So in this case, how can we verify this? Here also it is indicating that. So now here also, if you are granting that on the opportunity, we can able to grant either read write or read only. Also depends upon your requirement. Like the similar way, okay, like the similar way here also you will be having this information. So now it contains the level of access that you are granted on the opportunity record. It contains the level of access has been granted on to the user on the related opportunity record. On the related opportunity records. If you are granting read only, it will be holding value read. If you are granting read write, it will be holding the value. Like the similar case access level. Case access level. So now if this account record, upon sharing this account, if the related cases are available, then on that case records, what level of access you would like to grant. We can specify here. For that reason, it is going to be holding that option, okay, related on that case records also we can able to specify. Related case records. If you are granting read only, it will be holding the value read. If you are granting read write, you will be holding the value. It will be holding the value. Next. So now in this case, it is indicating this is the record ID, okay, which has been shared to the people over here. To which user we have shared, this is the user we have shared. This is the account access level. This is the opportunity access level. This is the case access level. Why this person is able to see the record? What is the reason here? Is he a owner because of a manual sharing, because of that sharing rule, or what? Why this user is able to see my record? I want to store this reason over here. For that one, now this reason column is nothing but row calls. Row calls is a field which will be holding that reason why the person is able to access your record. Okay, why the person is able to access your record over here. In order to know that, it will be holding this value called as row calls. Row calls is going to be indicating why the record will be able to visible to the user. Here, what is the reason? So now here in this case, now it is indicating that it contains reason for the sharing. reason for the sharing of the record. Reason for the sharing of the record. So why the record has been visible to the people? Why? Is it because of that here it will be having the various options. The first one, manual. Okay, manual. Manual means what? Manual sharing. Manual sharing. Second one, you will be having the owner. That means he is the owner of the record. He is the owner of the record. And then it will be having the option rule. That means because of a sharing rule. Due to account sharing rule over here. Like that, we can able to specify that information also over here. Now, so in this case, we can able to specify all this information inside this. These are the various of fields are available. So these are the various of fields are available as part of this account object. We can able to see the account ID field, which will be holding the ID of the account record which you have shared. And then user or group ID to whom you have shared this record. What level of access they have granted an account, what level of access they have granted an opportunity, what level of access they have granted an case, and why they have granted the access here. What is the reason? Why the person is able to see the record? So it will be holding that row cause information. These are the various details will be getting stored inside my account to share object. Okay, these are the various details will be storing inside my account to share object. Now, so now here let me show you. Let me show you with a manual process, and then I will show you what happened behind the screen. Whenever I'm sharing the record, what will happen? Let me show you. For example, this is the record here. For example, let's take one account record, one fresh account record, like some Pradeep Kumar. So this is one account record is available. Now this is the idea of this account record. Let me query this information from the developer console. I'm querying this details. So now in that account share object will be having all the details. I want to query this information. Select account ID, and then I would like to query that row cause, user or group ID, account access level, from account to share, where account ID equals to is the ID of the account. That means I don't want all the account records information. I want only this account record. This is the Pradeep Kumar record over here. Now for this Pradeep Kumar, currently who are all the people are able to access this record, I want to know. Now, so let's query this information. Row cause. I'm able to query this. This is the account record ID here. Now this record ID has been, okay, he is the owner of the record here. Currently he is the owner of the record. Only owner is having the record. Who is that owner? This is the owner ID here. Okay, this is the owner ID right now. So he is the owner of this record right now. So now who is this user? I want to know. Just a double click on this one, copy this account record ID. Let's go to your Salesforce instance, and then you can able to place this. Let's see. Who is this person over here? He is a training batch user. Nothing but training batch user is the owner of this record. So it is indicating training batch user. So I can able to see only this information. So currently only the training batch user is having the access on this record because he is the owner. So the row cause is owner. Now account level access is all. All means what he is having the full control of this, full access. Now he is the owner, so that he is having that all means full access. Now it is indicating. Here we can able to specify. Full access means all. Okay. Full access means all. So these are the three options will be available. Now I'm sharing this record to a user. Let me share. Click on add button. I'm sharing this Pradeep Kumar record to the development user also. To the users, development user with read-only access. Okay, with read-only access. Now click on save. Then what will happen behind the screen? Then Salesforce will create this new record inside that account to share table. This is the internal concept. As soon as once you click on share that record, then automatically whatever the user that you have selected, whatever the level of access that you have selected, then with those details, Salesforce is going to be creating one new record inside your account to share table. Now let me show you. Now, let's execute this one. Now let's see. One more entry has been created. So now previously we have only one entry, now two entries are available. Account record ID is same. So now manual sharing, this is a manual sharing. Row causes manual sharing. To whom this is the user we have shared. This is the user. Who is this user? I want to know. Just to copy this user record and place inside this. Who is this user right now? Is a development user. To the development user, record has been shared. So now the development user is having the access. What is the level of access? Read. Why? Manual share. That means what? Whenever I'm sharing the record through user interface, then internally it is creating one record inside this account share table over here. Okay, that means what? After entering some data, nothing but after selecting some user's information over here. Once you click on add button, select the user to whom you want to share, like as a manager user over here with the level of access is some read write. When you click on save button, it is creating one more entry over here. Let me go to that developer console now. Remove this log file. Okay, close this log file, re-execute that query again. Now we can see three entries over here. That means what? If I'm submitting the details, it is creating one entry over here. That means top to bottom. Now, so now in this case, if you want to share the record through programmatically, what we need to do, we have to come from bottom to top. That means we have to create a new record inside this table. That's it, nothing else. If I'm creating this new record through programmatically inside this table, then automatically the record will be shared to the people. Because if I'm sharing the record manually by using that button control, then what will happen? It is creating one record inside this account share table. But now what I want to do, Apex sharing means through programming. What we can do, we can create this record. If I'm creating the record, that means sharing concept. Yes, so record will be sharing automatically to the user. That's it, the difference, nothing else. Then how can we share the record to these people over here? Suppose if you want to share the record to this particular user. Now, I want to share the record to some another user over here. This is the record here. Pradeep Kumar record. I want to share the record to a user called as some customer user. Okay, customer user. Then how can we share? Through programmatically. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain how can we share through programmatically. For this one, what needs to be done? These are the fields are there. Like as account object only, same concept. Account object, these are the fields. ID field, name field, rating field, like that. Simple concept. Then insert. Then how can we share the record? Just to create the object of that account share object. Account share ACC equals to new account share. So now which record you would like to share over here? You can specify. ACC share dot account ID. Which record you would like to share? Specify the account record ID. What is this account record ID here? This is the record ID. What is my record? Pradeep Kumar record. What is the ID of this record? Copy this record. This is the record ID. I want to share. And then to whom you want to share? ACC share dot user or group ID. To whom you want to share this record? Specify that user ID. Who is that user to whom you want to share? I want to share to customer user. What is the customer user ID? Let me verify here. Go to the customer user. Customer user. What is the ID of this customer user? This is the ID. Customer user ID. ACC share that. You can specify the row class. So now what level of nothing but why you are sharing here? I'm going to indicate that manual. So now I'm sharing that row cards. Why you are sharing that? Because here that means why he is able to see my record here. I'm going to be using manual process. Yes, he shared that account access level. What level of access you want to grant? I want to grant that over here. I'm going to be granting the edit. That means read write permission. And then ACC share that opportunity access level. What level of access you would like to grant on opportunity? I'm going to be granting on read. ACC share dot case access level. What is the level you want to grant? Read. And then simply insert. Insert ACC share. That's it. Over. It will share the record. This is the programming part will be available behind that sharing button, nothing else. So these values are coming from where? These values are coming from my user interface. From my user interface, it will collect which you record you are going to share, to whom you are going to share, what level of access you are granting on this account, and the opportunity and the case. Once you click on save button, this record will be getting created internally by default. Now I want to create this record through programmatically. That is nothing but Apex sharing concept. Through Apex programming also we can able to share the record by using this. Nothing else. Simple concept. This is how we have to share the record to the people. Then, how can we share the record to the people? Now let me show you practically in this case. Now, let's take a small use case. Let me explain the requirement. For example, assume that I'm having this account object. Here, inside my account object, I'm having a field. Share record to user. There is a field. Now, this is the lookup field, okay, which is associated with the user object. Parent is user. It is populating all the username. Upon creating this record here, okay, upon creating this record, I want to verify. Once a record has been created successfully, then I want to select that. So that means upon creating this record, I'm selecting this user manager. Once the record has been getting created successfully, immediately this record has to be shared to the user manager. That means which user I'm selecting over here, I will decide dynamically. When I click on this lookup, it is populating the user's information. Which user will select, I will decide. There is no guarantee that I'm selecting the same user always. Now in this case, whenever I'm selecting the customer user, to the customer user record has to be get shared. Upon sharing this record, I would like to first check the annual revenue value here. If the record's annual revenue value is more than 50 lakhs, then I want to grant a read write permission. If the annual revenue value is less than 50 lakhs, I would like to grant only read permission. This is my requirement. That means what? I would like to share the record to the selected user at runtime. Which user I'm selecting at runtime, I don't know. Okay, I don't know which user I'm going to be selecting over here. So, whatever the user that I'm selecting over here, to that user, I would like to share the record dynamically at runtime through programming. Through programming, I'm going to be sharing that record. Then, how can we do that? Now, let's see practically in this case. Now, let's take this use case. Take a small use case. Configure an automated process, an automated sharing process to share the record to the selected user dynamically at runtime, based on the lookup field. Based on the lookup. grant the edit access to the user if the account records annual revenue is more than 50 lakhs. Else, grant the read access. That means read only access. The read only access on the record. Else, grant the read only access on the record. This is my requirement. So I would like to grant either read only or read write access. So now based on that annual revenue of this account record, I would like to decide whether we can grant read only or read write access. How can we do that? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, for that one, what I want to do, I want to create a trigger. Okay, I want to create a trigger, and then I would like to implement the business logic inside my method. Okay, inside my method, I would like to implement the business logic. So the trigger has to be get fired. Okay, whenever I'm inserting the record, once the record has been inserted, because I can't fire on before insert. Why? Because is if you want to share the record, then we need that record ID. Without the record ID, we can't share. So that here after insert only, I'm going to firing this trigger. So I need to fire the trigger on this account object on after insert. Object name is account object. Event name, I would like to fire on after insert. After inserting the record inside my object, I would like to fire that record. I would like to fire the trigger. I would like to invoke the business logic to share the record to the respective people. Now, so let's see how can we create the trigger on this account object in order to share this record. So let me create a new trigger on my account object, which will be getting fired on after insert. Let me create the trigger. Share account records on my account object. I'm creating a new trigger over here. I'm creating a new trigger with the name share account records trigger, which I'm creating on my account object. So I would like to fire the trigger on my account object once the record has been inserted. So after insert. After inserting that record inside my account object, my trigger will fire. It is going to be executing the business logic. So now here in this case, what needs to be done? First of all, we have to write the trigger context. If a trigger dot is after and trigger dot is insert. That means if it is a after insert. Whatever the records you have inserted newly, where these records will be available, these records will be available inside the trigger dot new context variable. Inside the trigger dot new context variable, all the newly inserted records will be getting available over. So now I would like to pass this records to my business logic so that I'm preparing a controller class. That means I'm preparing a handler class over here. Accounts share handler. Accounts a share handler. I'm creating a class. In this class, I'm preparing the method public static void after insert. After insert. So now in this case, whatever the account records that you have inserted recently, just now, those records will be coming into the trigger.new just to pass all these records to this particular method. So my method should be able to receive all this list of account records. So trigger.new is what? It's a listic collection, list of what? Account. So that my method should be able to receive that list of account records. List of account, LST. Now, list of account. So now whatever the record has been passed, created recently, those records will be passing with a trigger to your method. So this method will be receiving this list of records here. Now I would like to verify that. Okay, now I would like to verify. So now I'm verifying this condition. If the collection is not empty, LST accounts is not empty. If the collection is not empty, then I would like to iterate each and every record from the collection. Each and every account record ACC from LST accounts. I'm collecting each and every account record from the collection which you have created right now. Now what needs to be done? So now upon sharing that record, this field should be having some value, right? Upon creating the record, if I did not select anything, then to whom do I need to share? Nothing. We don't need to share to anybody else because you did not selected any value in this share record to user field. If you have selected something, then only we can share. For that one, I would like to verify that. If the ACC dot share record to user field, if it is not equals to null, and then ACC now, if it is not equals to null, that means if the record, upon creating the record, if this value has been selected, then only we can able to find the trigger to share. So now here in this case, I'm verifying this. Now I'm verifying. If this record nothing but if this field value not equals to null, that means if user has been selected, then only I would like to share the record over here. To whom you want to share the record, we can able to specify this information. So prepare the record detail. Prepare the share detail. Yeah. So I'm going to preparing this record information. To whom you want to share, we can specify. Account share, ACC share equals to new account share. I'm creating the object of this account share class. I'm creating the object of this account share class. So now here I'm passing these values. ACC share dot account ID. Which record you are going to share? I'm going to pass in this ACC dot the account record which I would like to share. ACC share dot user or group ID. To whom you want to share the record? I want to share to the ACC dot share record to user. That means whatever the user that is selected, that user ID is available. To that user, I would like to share my record over here. Okay, to that user, I'm going to be sharing my record right now. So that here I'm selecting this user information. Now, I'm indicating ACC share dot row call, nothing but why you are sharing this record over here. So I'm going to be indicating like as a manual. Okay, manual. I'm going to sharing that record. Next, we can able to specify ACC share dot opportunity access level. I'm indicating the read. Opportunity access level, I'm going to be indicating like as ACC share dot case access level. I'm indicating like as a read. They can able to just see that case records information. They can't modify. Next, I want to grant access on this account record over here. What level of access you would like to grant here? There is a condition. I want to grant the edit access on this record to this user if the account record's annual revenue is more than 50 lakhs. So now I want to verify. Here I'm verifying this if the ACC dot annual revenue is greater than or equals to some 50 lakhs. Then I'm going to be granting ACC share dot account access level. I'm granting edit. Else I'm granting ACC share dot account access level equals to 3. I'm granting this permission over here. These are the details here. And then we have to insert this in card. But instead of doing this one, if you want to make it as a bulkification, you can raise a question. Sir, for example, I'm inserting some bulk records inside my object through programming or through some data loader, I'm inserting bulk records. Then what we can do? At that time, make it as a bulkification process. So before that for loop, I'm preparing a collection. List of account share. LSD or share records. Share account records equals to new list of account share. Same multiplication concept, nothing else. Add the record to the collection. Start add a ACC share. Add the record to collection. For multiplication. Once the records has been added to that particular process, then we are going to be sharing this record. After the for loop, we are verifying. If the share records dot is not empty, that means if the collection is not empty. If the records are available to share, then we can able to insert. Insert share account record. That's it. Over. This is the way we are going to be using this. So now here in this case, what we did, so we are going to be collecting the account records which you are creating right now, and then whenever we are going to be selecting the user, once the record has been getting created, immediately I am verifying that if the records has been available or not. If the records are available, then I am going to be collecting each and every record, and then I'm verifying whether the record is holding the user information to share or not. So now here in this case, if the record information is available, okay, if the record is having the user information to be get shared, if it is not equals to null, then I'm preparing the sharing information. Then I'm making it as a bulkification process by adding to the collection. Once all the records has been added to the collection, then I'm going to be sharing all the record to the people in one shot by creating this record inside my account share object. Now invoke this
Feroz,
method. Okay. Yes.
Feroz,
Yes.
here in the 11th row, if account.acc record to user underscore is this a column or we have defined it?
No, no, it's a field. It's a custom field here. There is a custom field which we have created. Okay, during the admin
Okay,
concept here.
yeah,
There is a custom field with the lookup relationship field with the user.
okay, done,
Okay.
done.
Now, so now here I would like to invoke this method right now. Okay, from my trigger. You know how to invoke the method from the trigger. You know that. Just you can call this method account to share handler. Account to share handler dot after insert. I'm passing the desktop account record which you have created. That is trigger dot. That's it. Over. Trigger that. So now once the record has been getting created successfully, okay, then if the account records, okay, I'm going to be indicating. So if I'm selecting this user over here, if I'm selecting this user, automatically the record has to be shared to this particular user. Previously, what we did, we are going to be selecting manually by using that sharing button. It's a lengthy process. I don't want to go with that. Upon creating the record itself, I'm selecting this one automatically. It has to share the record to this user. So that once the record has been getting created, the trigger will fire and which is going to be collecting the account records which are created right now. These records information will be passing to the account to share handler class. Now my handler class will collect this account records information which has been created recently. It will iterate this record from starting to ending. It will verify if any of the record is available whose sharing information has been selected. If that means if the record has been holding the value of a user to whom you want to share, if that value is not null, if the value is available, then it is preparing the sharing information. It is going to be sharing the record to the people. Now, so in this case, how can this store? How can we track this information? Now let's implement the functionality here. Now, I'm creating a new record, right? I'm indicating the information, creating a new record over here. Like as for example, some Arvind Kumar. Arvind. Account site, I'm indicating some banking. Type equals to some customer direct. Industry, some biotechnology. Account number, some value. And then PAN number, I'm giving some value over here. Rating, some hard. Phone number, I'm indicating some value. Fax number. Website. Ownership, some public. Annual revenue, some 65 lakhs. Account to store somewhere. Priority high. Active status. These are the values which I have entered over. Now click on save. In this case, what happened? I haven't selected this user. If I'm selecting this user, then automatically to this user also record has to be get shared. I'm selecting the customer user right. As soon as once you click on the save button, the trigger has to be fired. It has to share the record to the customer user also automatically. Click on save button. My account record has been created successfully, Arvind Kumar. Now the record has to be shared to that particular customer user also. Then how do we know whether it has been shared or not? Just click on sharing button. Now we can see that. Now record has been shared with the customer user. Why? So because here manual sharing. We have specified that manual. So now on the opportunity we have granted read-only permission. On the case we have granted the read-only permission and account read-write permission. Why read-write permission? Because this account records annual revenue value is 65 lakhs. 65 lakhs means what? It is more than 50 lakhs, so that it is granting edit permission. Now, next one, I'm creating one more record. I'm creating a record with the name some Bhanu Prakash or Bhanu Prasad. Account site, some banking. Type, some prospect. Industry, some chemicals. And then PAN number, I'm giving some value. Rating, some hard. Phone number, some value. Fax number, I'm indicating some value. Website, some Gmail. ownership some subsidiary, annual revenue some 39 lakhs. That means which is less than 50 lakhs. Now the account source is some phone inquiry, customer priority some high, active status some yes. Now I am going to sharing the record over. To whom? To the manager user. I'm selecting manager user right now. So that here I'm creating this record. Once you click on save, record has to be created with the details of Bhanu Prasad. This record has to be shared to that manager user. With what level of permission? With the read permission. Why? It is having annual revenue value 39 lakhs. Now once you click on sharing, you can see that. Manager user is also having the access. What level of access? Read only. Why? Because so now this user is having the annual revenue as 39 lakhs. So which is less than 50 lakhs, so he will be getting the read only access. So we can decide upon creating the record, upon sharing the record, we can decide to whom the record has to be get shared, with what level of access you would like to grant. Everything we can able to decide with the help of this Apex share. This is how we are going to be sharing the record to the respective people over here, with the help of Apex sharing mechanism, which can be done with the help of the respective share class. Like the similar way, we can check the remaining classes also. And then we can able to get those fields and we can able to share the record as well. Same procedure, no change at all. Here we are using account share. Like the similar way, you can use for position share also. For the position object, make the object portability as the private, and then you can create one additional field inside that with the lookup of user, and then perform that operation also. At that time, we have to use position __ share. Then you will be having the fields, ID field, user or group ID, row cars. These fields will not be visible to you because here for the account we are having these fields additionally, because account is having the relation with that contact, opportunity, case. That's what it is indicating. So that we can able to see that fields information also inside this developer console. Just you can go to that object here, account share. We can able to see the fields information. Account ID field, user or group ID, account access level, opportunity access level, case access level, contact access level, row cars also. Okay, and then it will be indicating last modified by and the last modified by ID here. All this information will be available. Like the similar way, we can able to get that information of the respective objects, a sharing object, and we can able to see the fields, we can able to create. That's it. The similar way we can able to implement this functionality. Okay. So now tomorrow we'll see one more functionality that is called as invocable methods. Invocable methods. Then how to invoke this kind of methods? Okay, how to invoke this kind of methods? Okay, by using process builder. We'll see the concept over there in tomorrow's session. So in this case, as of now, we are invoking the methods from the trigger. How to invoke this kind of methods from the process builder, we'll see in tomorrow's session. Okay, in tomorrow's session, we'll see the process builder, and then along with the process builder concept, already you know that how to invoke the methods, nothing but Apex programming code to process builder. We'll see that tomorrow's session over here. Okay, by using that invocable methods concept.